welcome to The Melancholy Guy, a companion podcast to my Tumblr blog, The Melancholy Guy, daring to be black, open, and free. The adventures of a divorced, open, polyamorous, African American male. I am The Melancholy Guy, Calvin, or CPJR if you know me. And today I definitely believe that change I must or die I will. And I'm going to speak on that last part today a little bit. I think I have to. I'm going to reference that today. So anyway, my Tumblr blog can be found at melancholyguy.tumblr.com. And welcome back. I think I made it 2 weeks this time. I wasn't consistent like I said I would be, but I'm back after 2 weeks. I think the last podcast I did was on 310, and it was definitely on 310, and that was on, I think we were talking about agreements, relationships and agreements in your non-monogamy life. And I think I emphasize that it's going to be important that you be able to negotiate and ask for what you want boldly. That's one of the most important things. Communication is important, and you just have to be above average with it. Open-minded. You have to be able to listen and negotiate what you want and what you expect and what you need in your non-monogamous life. If you don't, you're just going to be frustrated, and it's going to be a lot of, just trouble and drama. And you really want to avoid as much drama as possible, especially when doing something new. If you're opening up a relationship, or if you're going into non-monogamy by yourself, you have to really negotiate with yourself, like I said in the last podcast. So I'm going to get back into it today. I think I'm going to jump back in the blog. I'm going to move up a little bit. Sticking with swinging. That's where we're at in the blog and where we were in our relationship. Basically, we had decided that we were going to be swingers. And did we decide we were going to be swingers? I think we decided that we were going to swing. Didn't necessarily think that we were going to be swingers. Like, I think there's a difference in being a swinger and just swinging. I think if you ever met really hardcore swingers, you kind of know they're just like interesting bunch. They're always ready to swing and have a good time. I'm gonna turn this heat off. Excuse me. Oh, sorry about that. So they're always ready to swing and have a good time, but and once you know real swingers, you could tell when you're around them because things will move pretty fast. But I don't think that we had decided we were going to be swingers when we first got into it. This was our entry into non-monogamy, and once we had, I think I read last week. I read our agreement. And I think I read an agreement. I think that agreement wasn't our initial agreement. I think that was the agreement that we had. I feel a little nervous tonight. I don't know why. So I think that was our agreement that we had after we were going into polyamory. The dates are gone. I think this was like, I don't know, like over 5 years ago. Well, it was 2018, so 7 years ago. So a lot of it's a little sketchy in my mind, especially what I'm gonna read today. So what I'm gonna read, like I said, I want to go a little bit forward, and I want to talk about getting dates, basically getting hookups. What do you do or how we went about meeting people and getting into the lifestyle. I think I talked about the two main websites that we used. I did some other websites too, but I think the main website we were on was a Black Swingers Club. It was a different name back in the day, but that's the name that it is now. And then the other site was, let me look it up. I think it was Swingers Lifestyle Lounge. And that was the site we got onto after being on the first site and having some issues with that site. So it's important to, well, you have to get on websites. I mean, like I said, you can't walk outside and meet swingers. I think there is some swinger presence on Facebook, and I think I got put in some of those groups, and I quickly went out because it was just not for me. It seemed to be very party oriented. Like I said, I don't ever think I was really like fully committed to being a swinger because it was very party oriented and seemed like it was full of drama and things like that. My computer's spinning up, so I have to talk over that a little bit. So it was interesting to just be exposed to what I saw on Facebook and social media, and definitely know that it wasn't for me. So anyway, the two sites we were on were Black Swingers Club, and the other one was swinglifestyle.com. So the first one was we put a website on that website, and I don't remember how I found it, but I remember finding the site because I remember I said back, if you've been listening, you remember I said that we had started this search for some fantasy fulfillment before we got married. So I had a kind of idea as to where the lifestyle was on the internet, and from there I was able to find out exactly what to do and post. And the first thing I want to talk about the first thing I want to do is read a couple entries from the blog. I'm going to read two small entries. One is dated. The first one I'm going to read is dated 2/3/2012, and it's titled "How Do We Get Here?" And so I'm going to read it. Honest communication, fearless conversation, and openness to completely love each other is how we decided that non-monogamy was the only option for our relationship. There's nothing like it. Freedom to be ourselves. No taboo subjects. Priceless. And more to come on this subject. And I think I wrote that on 2/3/2012. And I think we had already been swinging for a while. I know for a fact that we had already been swinging for a while. And I don't know. I don't know why I posted so much in 2012 and didn't post a lot when we first started in 2011. Probably because I was busy working out these profiles and finding how to meet people and get dates and get playmates and stuff like that. So I think by the time I got to writing this, I must have been feeling pretty good about relationship at that point. Like I said, if you open yourself up to non-monogamy and the swinger lifestyle, it's amazing as to what it can do for your relationship. Our relationship wasn't in trouble, but it felt like it just was stagnant and just needed room to grow and blossom. And that's where we went to blossom into non-monogamy. And once that started, it was great. I mean, we had a pretty dynamic lifestyle, meeting people, and we had some fun. So, and I think probably when I wrote this, I was reflecting on how we, got to this point. Everything was good, And then I'm going to read one more short entry from the blog written on 2/4/2012. And it's entitled Our Weekend. And this is going to be interesting too. Just a weekend bonding and sharing, just the two of us. Met a newbie couple on one of our online sites. They actually want us to mentor them into the life. Imagine that, us bringing other people safely into non-monogamy, such responsibility. So that was written in February of 2012. So obviously we had to have been swinging for a while for me to write that. I don't remember the couple, but I do know that I spent a lot of time on Black Swingers Club, and I do know that I used to, talk to a lot of people, guys and stuff like that. Like I said, I'm gonna talk about the profiles and stuff like that. Like the first, I'm just gonna read from the profile that we put up on Black Swingers Club. And it's actually the same one. I think I mirrored the two and tailored them to the site. Like I say, Black Swingers Club is majority black, almost all black people. And then the swing lifestyle is predominantly white. And it's also a little bit different. It's more catered towards clubs and outings and trips and stuff like that, and groups, things like that. Whereas the Black Swingers Club is open, just open for anything, for possibilities of meeting people. So I think when I read this, like we were going on from the very first time, and after I read this, I'm going to talk about. I'm actually going to talk about our first couple, our first experience that we met, and the people that we went out with, and what happened, and how we met them, and it was a trip. It was fun, and actually how that first experience, that first date, that first night, it actually just wiped out a whole lot of doubt and insecurities or anything like that we had, because it just flowed. It was like almost, there was a little shenanigans going on our part, but it was almost like a perfect evening, a perfect indoctrination into the lifestyle, because we met a couple that we liked. And the thing about this couple, and I'll tell you about it though, the thing about it, like I say, if you are a couple thinking about getting into swinging or anything like that, it's interesting that if you, as a guy, if you chill and let the women connect, you're good. I mean, because that's basically the most important thing. Guys are pretty easy most of the time, as far as meeting someone and hooking up. But if the women connect, then you're golden. So that's what I'm going to talk about there. So I'm going to talk about Black Swingers Club. So basically, Black Swingers Club is not a free site. Actually, no, you can set up a profile. It's mostly geared towards couples. There's single females and single women and single guys, single men on there also. But it's mostly geared towards couples. And if you were to set up your site, you're not going to be able to meet anybody unless you pay. I can't remember exactly what the limitations are, because from when we joined, I forget what the original name of the site was, but we were paid, I think, gold members and gold or something like that. Like I paid like 6 months worth of fees, and they transferred the whole entire site over to Black Swingers Club. So they took it from what it looked like, which was basically like a Facebook type interface, and then ported it completely over into the Black Swingers Club. And I don't know who owns this site, but it's pretty professionally well done. And I think it's some people that are from this area, DMV. I'm not sure. Anyway, but so in doing that, when they did that, they gave every paid member from the old site lifetime membership. Like my profile is on, or our profile is still up, and we were called Many Loves, MANYLOVES. You want to look it up on Black Swingers Club. You can't really see anything because everything's blocked off now because we don't post anything, but it's still up there, and we still get messages and still get requests to be friends and stuff like that. It's funny because it's not the site, because the profile isn't active. It's just up there, just never took it down. I probably should do that, I guess. I don't know. So anyway, you basically do it like any other dating site. You put in what you want, what you're looking for, your area, and what area you are, how far you would like to meet people and stuff like that. and then you put your information, your spouse's information in, and then you go into details of what you're looking for. So it's like the details. The site is broken up into details, what you're looking to meet, and then sexual fantasies, and then experience. I'm going to read the one section. I'm going to read the section for details. And this isn't the original profile what we had. This is our profile after being on there for a while, and you'll see how when I read this, we were actually moving out of swinging, moving more into polyamory or just ethical non-monogamy, but not swinging, because we had done it for a while and we kind of knew what we wanted and knew what we did I know what we wanted? Knew what we were looking for. So anyway, I'm going to read this right quick. It says, we are a couple very much in love and very, very freaky. We are your average couple next door. We are looking to broaden our sexual horizons. We are both very oral, and we are just looking for a chance to share our skills. We are not new to the lifestyle, and we have talked about getting into the life even I need to edit this, even before we were married over 6 years ago. We are in an poly swinger relationship. I don't know what that is anymore. That's a poly swinger relationship. That doesn't mean anything to me anymore. That's kind of strange. I think a polyamorous swing relationship. I guess that makes sense if you are polyamorous and you swing too. So I would probably say an open swing relationship. Looking for polyamory. I probably would word that differently now, but anyway, it says we are in a poly swinging relationship. I must have changed that because I use "and," so I'm an open relationship. So honesty is a must for us and anyone we deal with. Know that when you are communicating with one of us, you're really talking to both of us, and that was important to say, because of the shenanigans. Basically, I was saying that I don't talk, or if I'm on the site and if I'm sending someone an email, an inquiry, or responding to someone an email about an email or an inquiry, we're both looking at it. I'm not just making decisions, or she's not just making decisions. It's both of us making decisions, and there's no shenanigans. So basically, you put that in there for that reason, just to make sure that everybody anybody interested knows that it's going to be both of us or none of us. No deal. We're open to the occasional NSA hookup, but it's not our norm. I'll talk about that in a minute. We are now interested in maybe forming a group of mature, sensual, full swap couples between the ages of 35 to 55 years of age. A group of people that are interested in getting together on a regular basis for either house or hotel gatherings. We envision the gatherings to maybe include dinner, maybe some games, ultimately have a sensual, sexy playtime where everyone gets their needs met over and over again. We're looking for maybe 5 regular couples. So if you're interested and in the Washington, D.C. area, hit us up. And I think I'm going to read one more section. Am I going to read this? Yeah. I'm going to read the section where it says what we're looking to meet. We're looking to meet fun, sexy, HWP, height, weight, proportional ladies and select stable couples that would like to spend some time with us in and out of the bed. Soft swap or full swap, same or separate rooms. We respect your preference because we were open. But at this point, we didn't have those rules about I got to see you all the time. I got to touch you all the time. No kissing, all this stuff. We were basically enjoy your experience. You know what I'm saying? It's like we're here for the sex, so have fun. We're open-minded, intelligent people, and we're looking for the same. We're looking for partners that we can not only share our bodies with, but our time also. We like evenings that include 3 or 4 couples all having fun. Does a weekend at a wine or jazz festival, having fun during the day and playing all night sound like a plan? Let's get the ball rolling. You're going to need more than one photo for us to accept a friend request. And that last line was, because basically the HWP, interesting I put the HWP height weight proportional because basically you were trying to match your interest. You were trying to basically gauge if you were going to go out with these people because basically these swinging is expensive. It does take a bit of expendable income to do all this because you're going to dates and you're going for drinks maybe 1 or 2 times and you're going out on a night. You're getting dressed Friday, Saturday night. You're meeting people. Maybe you meet some people on Friday night, Saturday night. Booking a hotel or driving up to as far as Baltimore or down to Richmond. So it takes some money. So basically you're trying not to waste your time. And a lot of times on these sites, people will put the glam shots up, man, not the real pictures. So you'll be kind of shocked when you see someone and you're like, wait a minute, that doesn't look like you. And so I guess doing this for a while, we really had to change the profile and specifically ask for what we want so that we wouldn't have the shenanigans. And it didn't cut down on the shenanigans. There was still shenanigans going on with the emails and requests. And so basically, if you tailor or make a good profile, you will get hits. And I said this profile was the same that we used on the other site. I think the other site did say something about race because I was kind of open to interracial, but my partner, my ex-wife, wasn't. So so it was we got an email. So it was interesting now dealing with the other side because she wasn't open to it. I mean, she wasn't going to deal with it. And so it was like the other side, we had to explicitly say that we weren't going to date white couples. I think we had one experience with an interracial couple to satisfy her curiosity, and that was one of those nights we were coming home saying that shouldn't have happened because it was a crazy night, and I'll probably talk about it. So basically, you need to, if you're doing this, you need to tailor your profile. It has to be a profile that you both agree with. I probably wrote the profile, but she approved it and edited the profile. Basically, made me change things that she wasn't comfortable with. And this, like I said, this was the last one we had. It was not the first one. The first one didn't say anything about groups because we didn't know about groups. You know what I'm saying? We didn't know that there were groups of 4 couples that got together and they only played together. I think we were, even though I wrote that, I think we were already in one of those groups. You know, we were going out, hanging out, doing other things, going to like roasts, going to like their events, family events and stuff like that. So we didn't know anything about that in the beginning. So this was the end, and this was us leaning more towards polyamory. And I think even that changed because I think that I can't remember exactly. Maybe it'll come up when I on some more blog posts later on. But even I think we got to mentioning about dating separately and stuff like that, and we were basically open to meeting people. So So that's how our profiles read at the end of our swinging. So I'm gonna talk about so what happens when you set up a profile. So you set up a profile and you start looking at pictures, reading and stuff like that, and you start sending friend requests. Once you send the friend request, is accepted or not, then you can send the email. Not the email, but you can send a message within the platform. You can talk in the platform. Then maybe you'll send a outside email, and then you'll start texting. Then you'll set up a date. So this happened with a couple the first couple. Well, we had many friend requests and things like that. We were basically fielding a lot of different people, but this couple we met in Baltimore, like I said, was the women meet and connect, then you're golden, right? So I think they connected. The wife and my ex-wife, they connected. Actually, they weren't married. The other couple wasn't married at the time. They were getting married. They invited us to the wedding, I think. Yeah. So they were getting married. And like I said, they hooked up. They didn't hook up. They got to communicating, and it was on. I mean, they just bonded. They might still be friends to this day. Because I know they were still friends when we were separated, and they were still in communication, so they might be still friends. So they bonded. We all chatted back and forth. I think me, my ex-wife, and her chatted. The dude, he wasn't online at all. So, but I think we saw a picture of him. It wasn't anything about one of us taking it for the team. Basically, it was attraction all around. She was gorgeous. She was, like I said, in Baltimore. They had a house up in Baltimore. So we basically got to the point where we were going to go out. We were going to go meet for a steakhouse for dinner, right? Dinner and drinks. And I don't know if it was a Friday or a Saturday. I think it was a Friday, because the next day I'll tell you what happened. Yeah, I think it was a Saturday. I think it was a Saturday because the next day, because we slept, because it was a late night. So anyway, and that's one thing about swinging, they're always late nights. Late nights. You don't really start going till like after midnight for some reason. And there's always drinking involved and all this kind of stuff. So the night stretch, because people have to get loose, don't know each other. It's game, it's talking, it's getting comfortable. So it's always a late night. So we went to dinner, and somewhere in between, I think it was up in Columbia, because they lived in Baltimore. We met halfway. And so we met for dinner, and everybody, it was our first time. It's uncomfortable. So, you had that little banter about how'd you get into the lifestyle? Is this what you want? All this kind of stuff. How many times have you done it before? And I think we were both new at the time. I think we were both new. There were some revelations that came out later on about their relationship. I think the husband, he wasn't new. I think he had some experiences, convinced her to get into it. So it was like three newbies and one guy experience. So we were drinking, eating, talking, and I don't know, we had pretty much, we were definitely in the wind. My ex was in the wind. Everybody was in the wind. We were definitely tipsy. And then I don't know how we decided to go back to their place. So we were going to go back to, so we did. We got in the car, drove all the way back up to Baltimore. So we were in Baltimore on our first date. We were easy. So we were in Baltimore drunk at their place, and don't drive drunk, people, at their place, and having fun. So I think there was some other party treats going on, a little smoke in the air, and we were sitting out chilling, man. They had like Grey Goose. I remember Grey Goose because that was his drink. Because we went, interesting. We knew this couple so well that they invited us to his birthday at his house, at the same house. And we were there with both families chilling. Like we were long lost friends, and nobody knew how we actually met. And I think we stayed later. I think we were part of the birthday gift. Anyway, so we drinking and stuff like that, and I'm watching everything. I'm very nervous because she's tipsy. My um, ex didn't drink that much, so she was definitely in the wind and tipsy. So I had to make sure she was okay, and so I was very, vigilant. I have a high tolerance, so I was very vigilant about, you know, um, you know, what's going on because I'm a little bit nervous. We're in Baltimore. Baltimore is a hood. We were in the hood, and I wanted, I didn't want anything to happen or go astray. So dude was like, "Quit, calm down. Everything cool. Let them." They went upstairs and played. The women were upstairs. I think they were upstairs changing, and that's a big part of swinging. There's always changing going on. So they changed and got comfortable and everything like that, and I think we went upstairs and da da da, and bada bing, bada boom. Woke up the next morning, and then so after that night, I'm not gonna go into the gory details. That's some websites, but it was an interesting night. It definitely was. We definitely had a good time, that night. I'm trying to turn something down on the board. Something is not right. Okay, so yeah, we definitely had a good time and learned a lot. I think interesting thing though, our agreement going into this was we were soft swap, and after that night, we were no longer soft swap. Yeah, and but here's the thing though. I think we got up the next morning. Actually, we all slept in this bed. I think it was a full size bed. We're like all just knocked out drunk. We're sleeping, and we wake up the next day, and we just talk, and then we go home, and we're like, that was cool. And me and my ex driving back home that morning, and drove all the way back home and got home, and I'm asking her like, "How'd you have?" We're basically unpacking everything, talking about it, like we do. And we're tired, hungover, and she's like, "I don't remember anything." She didn't remember anything. I don't think she remembered anything after going up to bed. And I remember like, so I guess I was looking out for her. I'm asking her, everything's okay? You okay? You're okay? She's answering yes, 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 because I'm double checking, make sure everything's okay. I'm not realizing she's drunk out of her mind. And she wasn't upset or anything like that. She was cool with everything. Everything was cool, but she didn't actually. I don't know like how much I couldn't believe that, but she's like, I can't remember anything. Did she black out? I don't know. I don't know how much she drank or how much she smoked. But she didn't say she remembered everything, but she was fine. So that was our couple. That was our first night in the swinging. And like I said, after that night, we were wide open. Basically, like our agreement was we were cool. If you're enjoying yourself, everything's fine. We're looking out for each other. Just go with the experience. And I think that's why I was reading that How Did We Get Here, because that allowed us to be open to experiences and not have some of the rules that other couples had, other more experienced couples had. And I'll talk about some of those later on because people still have hang-ups. I still think swinging is basically a little monogamish, not truly. I know it's under the umbrella of ethical non-monogamy, but I think it's mostly for the couples, and the couples will do things to protect their relationship if they're insecure about certain things. Like they have rules about not kissing, or like I said, the whole soft swap thing, same room, those rules, and if those rules are broken, definitely don't fall in love. If those rules are broken or violated, couples will break up, and you've seen it happen. So anyway, I think that's what I'm gonna wrap it up. Right there, we've had our first experience. Our profile is set up, and I think next week I'm gonna look at that the other swing lifestyle .com. Is that the name of the site? To see how you know. To see how it differed. I'm not sure if if I went into the whole racial thing, but we had some interesting things happened when we went to the club, because basically the club Taboo up in Baltimore was a mixed club, and so and we had some things with some couples coming up to us, and I had to say no, she's not interested. They're beautiful couples. We couldn't play with them or anything like that, because homie don't play that interracial. So anyway, I'm gonna wrap that there. That's where we are in our non-monogamy journey, and the blog. And I'm gonna come up with some more blog postings next week. And you can see that everything looks pretty positive. And it was pretty positive in the beginning. Like I said, once we decided what we were going to do, and once we got into it, it was fun. But the thing didn't change until we started changing, as we started growing. Having those experiences caused us to, or contributed to us growing and really finding out exactly, what worked for us. And I think that's what you have to be in ethical non-monogamy, because like I said, very, very few people grow up non-monogamous or in polyamory or in swinging or anything. So you're going to have to really try some things to find out what works for you. And once you find out something that works for you, stick with that, man. And like I said, you can write blog posts like I was writing, because I was having a ball. I mean, with everything. It was just the meeting people, talking to people, the dates. I mean, just going out every weekend, just meeting people. It was pretty fun for me. And so I'm going to stop it right there, and I'm going to come up to the next session. That was past blog, if you listen to the podcast. And I'll go back in the present. So I want to talk about something that I really don't talk about in my life. And I don't know, some people who listen to this may know, my family may know, that, addiction is a part of my story. And basically for the last few years, I haven't really been paying that much attention, giving that much heed. I basically just going with the flow of life. I think when I got the divorce and the separation, that kind of messed me up in the brain. I really wasn't taking care of myself, and some things got if you know anything about addiction, it basically steadily gets worse and worse and worse. So basically some things got out of control in my life, and it's something that I don't address, and anything that you don't address only gets worse. And basically I got worse, and became toxic. I mean, because one thing about me, if you know me, I like to go out and party. Basically, that's how I always lived my whole entire life, from I don't know, junior high school up. I partied, and wasn't an issue until I got older, and then some things became unmanageable, and I didn't address it. So basically, telling on myself, what I'm saying? That's something I'm gonna have to address. And that's why I always read that last line in my opening. And definitely today, I definitely believe that change I must, or die I will. And basically, I've been fighting the change. I've been trying to remain the same person that I was when I got into the lifestyle and all that kind of stuff. And I can't be, I can't be that carefree person that I used to be, because I have some real issues that I must deal with. So I must change. And, life has a way of smacking you in the face and getting your attention. And I'm paying attention now. So, as I decided that I'm going to have to basically just focus on me, recovery and not being toxic, so that I can basically get back to where I was. You know what I'm saying? It doesn't, like me going out, I like to go out and party and stuff like that, but I don't have to. You know what I'm saying? I can have a good time totally, completely sober. And it's interesting that I know I can do that, and I do that most of the time. But then again, I like to trip. I like to have a good time too and get high and stuff like that. But it's not good for me. So I'm on the wagon. I'm going to be on the wagon forever, maybe. I'm going to be on the wagon until I know that I'm safe. And that's probably when I'm dead, I know I'll be safe. Because at this point, I'm scared. And I'm not going to do anything to completely lose everything. So I just wanted to address that and saying that's why I am. It's just important for me to focus on recovery. So, I'm not going to be doing like outings and events and stuff like that, because I'm going to stay close to home and work on some of my projects like this podcasting and my studio and some other business adventures that I'm going to get into. I'll talk about more about that later. And so I've been on for a while. I think I'm also going to talk about. I'll talk about some more things next week, because I definitely will be back next week. I have a lot of time right now, and so I think I'm going to wrap it up there. Things are good. I'm loving life. I'm still learning and pressing forward, and I'll be back next week. So with that, I just want to say, always remember to love and respect yourself first, and everything else will take care of itself. Peace and namaste.